So I've been living in a van for over 6 years now. I move around quite a bit. I spent most of my winter time in Arizona, but now that the weather's warming up, I'm definitely calling San Diego my home. I've been living on the streets in San Diego for about 3 weeks now, and I've gotten into a pretty nice little morning routine. First thing I do when I get up is make my bed and just kind of clean up the van, put everything in its place. Gives me a nice clean slate to start the day. And then before I get into any serious work, I reach for that morning coffee, baby. Sometimes I even add a little butter. The idea here is that adding butter provides a steady, long-lasting energy without a blood sugar crash. So today is one of those butter days, and honestly, I ain't mad about it. I decided to give this push-up board a try. It seems like a great way to build muscle on those days that I don't go to the gym, and so far, I've been super happy with the results. And I'm sure the comment section is on fire with folks telling me to put a shirt on. But honestly, I just film these videos to show you guys exactly what it's like to live the way that I do. Sometimes I wear a shirt, sometimes I don't. And there's no ulterior motives. I just want to bring you guys the truth. Good morning, friends. It's Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck, and I'm waking up on the streets of San Diego. I just want to check in with you guys and show you where I spent the night. So I'm on the city street right in front of this business complex. It's today is a Tuesday morning. All the workers have come to work. And I'll show you guys, right over here is the freeway. And there's a few van life folks out here, an RV and a Econoline. And down here there's another RV. And there were a lot more rigs here over the night as well. So this was a great parking spot. I had no issues. And the best thing about it is it's only 3 miles from the beach. So I mentioned earlier that I've developed quite a nice little daily routine. It all starts out with waking up at my parking spot on the street. There's plenty of other nomads here camped out on the same area. And then it's only a 3-mile drive from my parking spot clear up to Ocean Beach, San Diego. And then I spend most of my day there at the beach in a parking spot, either working on my computer or taking breaks and going for walks on the beach or taking a nap in the sun. So check out my spot. I'm gonna be working on the day bed today, just lounging. I got a nice view out the window of the park right there. Got a couple van life homies over here having a little conversation. Got a beautiful view of the blue sky, the palm trees. Cool little lifted short bus. I really like that rig. That's a good looking unit. The beach up there. Just such a good vibe right now. Look at that. One of the ways I make money to fund my van life adventures is through this YouTube channel, which includes live streaming, and that's something we're gonna actually do today. Typically, I do a live stream from inside my box truck and kind of share some information from my laptop, but I really want to test out kind of roaming the streets of San Diego while I'm live streaming at the same time. Now, the thing about live streaming is it uses a lot of data, and that's kind of a constant struggle as a van lifer because we don't get unlimited internet like you can when you're living in a sticks and bricks. So today I'll be doing my live streaming with the Nomad Air Internet Travel Pack, and they advertise this as a truly unlimited internet solution that's portable and can pretty much go anywhere. So we're gonna test that out today. So I got the Nomad Pack. On the back, Nomad Brad with his Nomad Internet Nomad Pack. Let's go! So check this out. This is my parking spot for the day. Right here on the beach, you can see the waves crashing just right over there. absolutely beautiful. There's lots of vehicle dwellers out here. Look at all these rigs. ProMaster, a Transit, a Sprinter. This is a cool little schoolie, little short bus. So this is actual footage from the live stream that I downloaded from my YouTube channel. I want to apologize for it's a little bit shaky. I was just using a handheld grip, and since then I've upgraded to a gimbal, which gives me a little more smooth video. I'm sure the live stream folks appreciate that. But you know, overall here we're just looking at the quality. We're looking for dropped frame rates, just kind of see how the stream looks. And as I cruise through beautiful San Diego, it's cool to see all the van life folks that are out here. You know, if you guys are considering van life at all and you're just maybe just kind of new to the idea, San Diego is a great spot to come kind of just get your feet wet and get experience in the nomad life. It's pretty easy. Everybody's super friendly, and the super chill vibes and beautiful sun make it a really easy spot to try out van life. So the first thing I did is just make my way down to the beach. I mean, when you're here in sunny San Diego, that's the first thing to do. Just head on down, kind of soak in the waves, and just get some of those good vibes. So far, the live stream's been going really well, so I decided to head into the town a little bit. I found this grocery store called Crisp. It's a natural food store, kind of like a Whole Foods. And believe it or not, it's only like 3 blocks from that parking lot. So, I mean, how cool is that? You can hang out in your van all day at the beach, and then you can walk 3 blocks to a pretty nice grocery store where you can get all kinds of organic produce and, you know, kind of higher end snacks. I was looking at the price on these Blue Diamond almonds, and they were a little over $5 a tin, which, you know, it's a little more expensive maybe, but hey, for being on the beach in San Diego, I can't complain. As I went back into the grocery store, I did notice the stream started to get a little bit blurry. My speeds dropped a little bit, so decided to go back outside. So today, San Diego is having their farmers market. The streets were full of cars and people, and I could see some tents off in the distance, so I decided to head on over and see what's going on. It's an interesting experience walking through a big crowd while you're live streaming. Everyone's kind of looking at you, trying to figure out who you are, if they know you. And a lot of people were waving and smiling, and they wanted to be on camera. So, you know, it's interesting. It makes you kind of feel a little bit like a celebrity, even though I'm just a dude living in a van with a modest YouTube channel. It was a pretty fun experience. There was all kinds of food being served up. You could have pretty much anything you want, but you know, old Nomad Brad tries to avoid all the delicious fried temptations, so ended up going with this drink instead called Pog, and it's like a kefir. They call it a kefir soda, but basically it tastes like a fresh pressed fruit juice, and it was super refreshing. As the sun was going down, I decided to make my way back to the van, and as I headed down the sidewalk, I could hear some music playing. And turns out there were some dudes over in the parking lot with a full music setup, so I thought I'd go over and see what they were up to. It was such a beautiful evening, and overall just a really beautiful day. And the main reason I like to do these kind of live streams is just to get out and show people what's actually going on. You know, if you just stay home and watch the news, you'll think that San Diego is dangerous and dirty and full of homeless people, but the reality couldn't be further from the truth. It's packed out, there's tons of kids hanging out and people socializing, and I never felt in danger or unsafe at all, and there was hardly any trash. I really didn't see any homeless people. Lots of vehicle dwellers, but, you know, no true homeless. So overall, I just want to really encourage people that, you know, if you're thinking about getting out and exploring, you got to just do it for yourself and see what's really going on. And don't let the fear hold you back. Don't let the media hold you back. Because the reality is there's good people everywhere, and there's a whole world out there just waiting for you to join. So the purpose of this video was really twofold. First of all, I just wanted to kind of show you guys typical day in the life of a van dwelling YouTuber. You know, there's a lot of different things we do. Some days we're just hanging out at the beach, traveling, and then other days, you know, we gotta work. So we gotta make videos, and for me, part of that is making YouTube live streams. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the Nomad internet, believe it or not, and I just wanted to tell you guys my true experience with it. I've been using the device since January, so going on about 5 months now. And it's been a great unit. I leave it plugged in pretty much all day. The nice thing about the Nomad is because there's no built-in battery pack, it doesn't get hot. When I've used like the portable, you know, hotspots in the past, like the battery's always charging, and so it can kind of get hot. If it's in the sun, sometimes it can overheat, and I haven't had any instances where the Nomad has overheated or kind of shut off on its own. So it seems like it's a good device for folks that need, you know, like a reliable long-term internet solution rather than like a mobile hotspot that you're having to turn on and off all the time. And the nice thing about it, because it is truly unlimited, and like I said, since I've been using it about 5 months, I've never come into any data caps that I'm aware of. I upload one YouTube video every week, which is about 5 to 7 gigabytes. And then on top of that, I do a live stream every week, which is 1 to 2 hours in length. So that alone would have put me over my data limit on my cell phone. But I've been doing all that with the Nomad. Plus on top of that, I still use it for my daily internet. So I do Zoom calls and consultations for my solar business. And then additionally, I just use it as a regular user watching shows at night. And so I've put quite a bit of data through it, and I've really never hit any kind of wall or any kind of data limits that I'm aware of. And then as far as speeds go, I do speed tests quite a bit just because I'm curious to see how it works out. And a lot of my time has been here in Yuma, Arizona. I'm out at the foothills at my dad's house. And so out here, I average about 35 down and then about 15 up, which is plenty for streaming or uploading video. Earlier in the year when I first reviewed this device, I was out in the desert at Palooza, and I was getting more like 5 megabits down, and I think maybe 10 or 15 up. So it was a little slower, which is to be expected when you're out, you know, kind of far away from cell towers. And additionally, when you're in a location where there's a whole lot of people that are all using their cell devices at once off a limited tower network, you can experience some congestion. But even with that happening, I was still able to do a live stream and also upload my weekly YouTube video, no problem, from the desert at Palooza. And I've also used the device, of course, in California for a few weeks, and I've also used it in Texas when I flew back to visit my mom, and also in Tucson, Arizona. So all the different places I've used it, I've never been in a situation where it did not work, where I wasn't able to get reception, or where it was too slow for me to use. That being said, it seems like the speeds vary a lot depending on where you're at. I've seen speeds as high as 200 megabits down, which is blazing fast, and I usually get those when I'm in the city. Like if I'm in the city of San Diego, or when I was over in Tucson, I was getting like 150 down. So the speeds do vary quite a bit, and of course you're supposed to have it, if you can, kind of close to a window. As you can see from the live stream, it didn't do very well when I was inside that grocery store. But that's to be expected on any cellular type device. I mean, we're in a building surrounded by steel and concrete, so the reception is going to be a little bit limited. But overall, I've been really happy with the Nomad. And the thing that I've been thinking about is, if, you know, I didn't pay for this device. They sent it to me for free, but they didn't pay me at all to review it. They just sent me the device, said, try it out and let me know your thoughts. And so what I was trying to think about is, if I didn't have the Nomad, what solution would I use for my internet needs? And basically your only options are like Starlink or some kind of a wireless hotspot from a traditional carrier like AT&T or T-Mobile. And so the Nomad comes in at, their base price point is $100 a month, and that gets you download speeds up to 100 megabits, which for most people is sufficient. They have a higher package, which is like $200 a month, or maybe it's 150 a month for up to 200 megabits down, but I don't really see any reason I would need that plan. But so if I didn't have the Nomad, really my only option would be Starlink, which in my mind, Starlink is more expensive off the bat. And the main thing I don't like about Starlink is you have to set up the big satellite dish wherever you go. You know, you have to put that thing outside on the ground, up on the roof of your rig. So there's a considerable setup and teardown process, versus with the Nomad, I just leave it on my desktop right inside here, plug it in, and I have full internet connectivity. So I don't think Starlink is really an option for me. I don't want some exterior mounted device, and I don't want to have to set it up and tear it down. Also, Starlink's a little more expensive. And then the next option would be some kind of a hotspot, like from AT&T or T-Mobile. You know, from the ones I've looked at, it seems like pricing, it might be a little bit cheaper, but you're really not going to get truly unlimited data. And so for some folks that are just checking emails or like streaming some shows once in a while, I think that would be a good option. But for as much internet as I do, I really think Nomad Internet is the best solution. That's just me being honest. Like, even if they turned my reception off and they said, we're not going to give you a free plan anymore, you have to pay for it. Honestly, guys, I would pay for it. I think $100 a month for the service they provide is pretty awesome. And I do like the battery pack and the portability, because if I was going, like, say, to a coffee shop or a hotel, then you can just take it with you and it's easy to set up. And, you know, if you went with like just a regular monthly data plan, like through AT&T, which is my cell provider, they have pretty hard limits on how much data you can get, and then the price goes up pretty drastically. So all things considered, the Nomad Internet has been a great device for me, and I really don't see any downsides with it. I mean, technology all has its pros and cons, and sometimes the speeds will vary, but nothing's going to be a perfect solution. And so I think for me, or really for anyone that wants a reliable internet source and they're going to be using it often, like throughout the day, they want something they can just kind of turn on and leave it and not have to worry about it, I really think the Nomad's a great choice. So I would consider you to think about it. I'll put a link in the description. I don't think I get any money from it. You know, again, this is just me being honest, but I think it's good. I definitely recommend Nomad to all my followers and anybody who's looking for a good internet solution.